Alright guys, for the next one I have myself here a knuckle. This is used for the sirloin tip steaks, which is this right here. You also get some thin sandwich slices coming from this portion right here, and you also get stew meat from this back end. And this is one of the probably the most difficult cuts to trim and everything, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So let's get started. First off, let's sharpen our knife. Always make sure your knife is sharp. If you want a good cut, you got to have a sharp knife. Alright, so first things first, we got a few seams we have to go through. There's a seam right in here. You guys can see that here. We got to separate the tip steak from the meat here. And you just follow that seam, kind of pry it open there. You got to really work in there to get it out. Sometimes you got to flip it around. Do a couple things here with it. Okay. Yeah, just follow the seam. Okay. Keep following it. You see this little seam right here? We got to find that. So, cut at an angle. So we get to that seam part. Once we find it, there it is. Glide your knife right across that seam. Keep following the seam. It's okay if it looks a little sloppy because we're going to trim it off. So that's your sirloin tip steak. So from here, all we got to do, get in here, trim this fat off, silver skin. There we go. Now we're going to cut it into some steaks. Not too thick. About half an inch. There we go. And usually you can get about 4, maybe 5 for the bigger ones. I don't need that much for the wall, so I got myself a little knuckle here. From there, we're going to want to tray it. 2 per pack. It's fine. I only got this one here. Sometimes that happens. Now, for the next part, I'm going to show you guys how to get the thin sandwich slices. So this is where the sandwich, or the tip steak was. So right here, there's another seam. Just need to get in there, cut it out. Straight down. Okay. This part right here is going to be the leftovers. We're going to use this for stewed meat. We're going to trim that up here in a moment. This is going to be your sirloin right here. So from here, I'm going to trim off that silver skin, make it look nice and clean, and get our sandwich steaks out of this. Okay, there we go. Nice and clean looking. From there, always make sure to go against the grain. Just cut nice thin strips. I'm pretty familiar with this cut. I've seen some new guys mess this up so many times, but after doing it a while, you get the hang of things. From there, I like to start out with the bigger pieces first, line them up here, just kind of shingle them down. Usually about 6 to 8 pieces per tray. You get a smaller one here. That's how that looks. That is your thin sandwich slices. Go ahead and tray these up here. Depending on how big the cut is, you can get a decent bit out of it. We'll just add these small pieces to the stew. Alright, now that we got that done, and we got our delicious looking sandwich steaks here, we're going to move on to the last portion. That'd be this big mess here that we got. So for this, throw all that gristle out. You don't want to feed that to anybody. It's going to be hard as rock. Just kind of separate everything, trim it out. This is where all the seams connect, so it's pretty messy when you get done making your sandwich tip steaks. Nice and looking good. Another seam right here. Just cut down that. Get that silver skin off. And from there, just cut it into little cubes. Lots of seams. Okay. Now that we got that, take our tray here, our black pad, and boom. There you have it, guys. From a knuckle to tip steaks to sandwich steaks.